Hello and welcome to Hilarious Ventriloquist Character Development Part 2. On the last video, you're sliding off of the chair there. This is Dude. In the first video, we came up with his demographics as we developed his character. I still don't have a voice for him. I have something in my mind, but that'll be in one of the upcoming videos because we are going to take this guy all the way from character development, voice development, and then we're going to come up with some comedy together. But anyway, today we are going to just finish working on his demographics, his character profile. Now, let's think about some of the most iconic, hilarious characters in comedy. Let's see, more recently, let's see Sheldon on Big Bang Theory. Well, he's got an iconic personality, certain things about him that just make you love him, that make you laugh. Another one from a few years back, what about Kramer on Seinfeld? There's no doubt he was a strong comedic character. And if we're going to go way back, from way back, one of the things that it's timeless as far as I'm concerned, and that's Barney on the Andy Griffith Show. All three of these have extreme, strong comedic characters. And that's what we want to have with our ventriloquist characters. I mean, we put a lot of time and money and thought into what we want them to look like, what we want them to sound like, and we need to have a personality that's going to bring those laughs. So last week, we went over the initial demographics, where they're born, that kind of thing, his socioeconomic status, maybe his political views. Tonight, we're going to go just a little bit deeper. We're going to try to come up with what makes it a strong comedic character. Yeah, we are. So let's go. What does this guy want out of life? Well, like I said, he's like an old hippie kind of caught in time. And what does he want in life? He just wants to be left alone. I think one of the things that makes him an extreme character is kind of the way he looks. You know, his extreme hair and his kind of he is himself. So he's got an extreme look. What he wants out of life, he just wants to be left alone to enjoy himself the way he is. What does he need? Well, like everyone, he kind of needs a place to stay, but he also needs the things that he loves. And the things that he loves are, well, smoking weed, maybe a little bit of a drink every now and then. He needs a nice place to stay. But he also wants freedom. More than anything, he wants freedom to roam and just pick up and go wherever he wants to go. He doesn't want responsibility. He would prefer not to have children. In fact, I don't think he has any children. He doesn't want to be tied down to a particular wife, because we figured that out last week. A few weeks ago, he wants to love who he's with. His strengths. Well, some of his strengths are he's a very loving kind of person. He cares about people. He'll go the extra mile for people. What is his weaknesses? Well, his weaknesses are he's never going to have a job. He's never going to conform to any kind of 9-to-5 life. He doesn't even want to conform, let alone live in a neighborhood with maybe an HOA. No, he's definitely a free spirit. Some people may think that is not a strength and not a weakness, but in today's society, when you kind of have to have an ID for things and you have to do particular things, to be a free spirit and not want to do anything for the government, pay taxes at all, have a driver's license or anything like that, that can be a weakness. His fears. He fears the police and turning into his parents more than anything. More than anything. He does not want to be a conformist. That is what he is afraid of. What he loves, he just loves everybody. He loves having his own space. He loves the world. He loves music. He loves all of those things. He loves to live his own life in freedom. How does he perceive the world? Well, he perceives the world to be not too loving, not too caring, needing a real social revolution, but not in a mean way, not in like an anarchist way. It's kind of like in a passive way. Just everybody needs to love each other and be enlightened. You know, he likes to meditate and things like that. He also thinks that the world is really wasteful. He thinks the world is cruel. He thinks the world is destroying itself. He's very much into worrying about global warming. He's very much worried about animals. He's very much a vegan or a vegetarian as best he can be. The world perceives him kind of somebody that's kind of been, when people see him, they look at somebody that's probably been left in time. Maybe somebody that's a drain on society, but he's not. When people see him, they just kind of think he's a past it old hippie, kind of like a grandpa type thing or something like that. Just kind of like maybe what John Lennon would be like if John Lennon was with us today. He probably likes John Lennon. Yeah, he probably likes Paul McCartney. Yeah, okay, there you go. His issue is that the world's moving so fast. He doesn't understand social media. He doesn't understand cell phones. He doesn't want social media. He thinks it's a trap. He thinks people are watching him all the time and tracking him. And he doesn't want his phone because he don't want to be traced at all. And yeah, so he's got some major issues with technology and the way things are going today. And he doesn't really trust any of that modern stuff. If he was going to have a rant about anything, this when we begin to develop our comedy, well, you want your character to have really, really strong viewpoints about things. Doesn't matter if it's logical or not. In fact, the better it is to be illogical. One of the iconic things I want to mention is Cartman from South Park. He's so much of a jerk, we actually like him, and he's clueless about things. Well, he's not a jerk. He's a really lovable character. We want to love him, but he's so abstract with his thinking. And if he was going to have a rant, he would just get so upset and mad about technology and the government and people tracking him and telling him what to do and all of that kind of thing. That's what he would have a rant about. That's his strong feelings. And let's see if it, I think that's it. His issue, his flaw. What is his issue or his flaw? And that's really important. Let's think about some of those iconic characters. Now, I'm not that familiar. Well, okay, let's do this. I'm not an expert on Big Bang Theory, but Sheldon he's a nerd. He's logical to a fault. Very, very precise about things, and he just doesn't see the other's point of view. He's like that. He sees everything through his eyes of his perceptions, and no one else's perceptions makes any sense to him. Let's think about Kramer from Seinfeld. Same thing. He goes off on a tangent and just doesn't see at all how crazy he looks to people. Well, that's his issue. He doesn't think he looks strange. He doesn't think it's strange to not have anything to do with social media. He doesn't think it's strange not to have a driver's license or follow the laws or pay taxes. Those are his issues. And Barney thinks he's invincible until it happens. And he's the same way. Those are his issues. In his world, he only sees what's in his world. And what other people see or think or do is completely foreign to him. All right. So that's the foundations of building our absolutely hilarious ventriloquist comedic character. With every single character development, whether it is the characters we use on stage or those comedic characters we see on sitcoms, the entire backstory very much needs to be done with each one of our characters. And what we have right here is the second step in developing that extremely hilarious comedic character. They need to have a flaw or an issue or a problem. And he's different, and he doesn't know he's different. And that's probably one of his strongest flaws. See you back in a couple weeks where we go to the next phase where we're going to come up with a voice and a little bit more about this guy. Remember, his name is Dude. Well, he wants to go by Dude because that's so much simpler. If you would like to have a form or learn more about developing your comedic character before you get your voice and actually start writing your comedy, please go to Amazon and check out Dialogue, Comedy and Joke Writing for Dummies. No, Real Dummies. It's on Amazon. I think it's only $15. It's available on US Amazon and UK Amazon. And I hope you find it helpful. Thank you. See you next time.